They don't take part in bilateral series. They don't come here. But when it comes to money, when it comes to money, there's a website, there's a company which sponsor their PSL, which is their T20 Premier T20 League, and it's called Sky247.net. And when you look at these their transaction, 70% of their revenue is generated through India. It's the Indian gamblers who are putting money. I mean, they can't survive without Indian money. And Ramesh Raja said before. And to discuss this, we're joined by Abhijit Sarkar, of course, the Pune Warriors. He's director, former director. Abhay is quite a famous lawyer and former boss of Maharashtra Cricket Association. Ashwini Krishnan, the sports marketing expert. If I can start with Abhay sir, we have been discussing IPL every day. So it just comes out that, we are discussing IPL. But this is a serious issue about Indian money being going to Pakistan and things like that. I just want to know from you, is betting really legalized here in India? I mean, we are still in a lot of people have confusion. A lot of people don't know exactly what is happening. We know fantasy is on. Fantasy cricket it tests your skills, which is a different sort of a skill set game. But your thoughts, what exactly is happening with IPL, with the betting bit in India? Is it legalized?
Thank you, Indranil, for having me. This is a bit complicated and serious subject, no doubt about it.
Okay.
I would like to slightly correct the statements that it is true the world over, India generates the maximum money. So it is, yes, Pakistan, but same is the case with most of the countries. If Indian team doesn't tour them, they will have very serious problems running their board. This is number one. Number two, as far as the betting is concerned, you will remember that in 2015, when the Supreme Court appointed Justice Lodha Committee, one of the recommendations given by the committee was to legalize betting because a lot of money is being generated. It is in the hands of underworld or some negative elements. And that is why it was suggested that why can't you legalize? But it is to be done by the parliament and court cannot decide upon that. Now, there is also a private bill pending in the parliament where it has been stated that you should legalize betting in sports, etc. So this is, as far as current situation is concerned, it is not so. It is not legalized, but the gaming portals like Dream 11, if you see, is I think one of the official sponsors of Indian team also, of the board also.
Yeah.
So all these things are happening. The matters have gone to the court, and they have always directed that let the center decide upon it. So ultimately, a call needs to be taken by the government, and now the bills are pending because there is going to be a conflict. One view would be that it is immoral and we should not do it, but at the same time, you cannot stop it. So it is happening anyways. So if you create some agency, you legalize it, that much revenue will come into the mainstream, and of course, it will be very difficult task to keep control over that. So current situation is that though it is recommended, a concrete step has not been taken forward as far as that is concerned, because there are a lot of loopholes into it, because we need to see whether betting in turn goes to later on match fixing or some such other issues. That also we need to see. So as far as betting is concerned, this is a very serious issue which needs to be considered, because from 2013 or even before that, you will see that every few weeks, currently now there is some raid and some people have been arrested. This is bound to happen, and this is happening. And as far as the money is concerned, yes, money gets generated here. But then remember that ICC gives time schedule and calendar for IPL and not for any other Premier Leagues run by the other countries. I think as far as the betting is concerned, this is what I wanted to say from the legal perspective.
Ashwin bhai, I want to ask you, Pakistan cricket, their PSL, which is their famous T20 league. We see so many fast bowlers coming out of that system. It's basically Indian money which is going in, being pumped in, and they are getting they've been the title sponsors also for India, Pakistan, South Africa series in the past. So your thoughts, I mean, do you think it's a nice thing to, because the fact that we don't have so much of bilateral ties, we don't have their players coming and playing here, our money going that side, your thoughts?
See, our money goes that side not only in this context, it goes in many contexts.
Okay.
The thing is, it's now between morality and legality, right?
Okay.
Morality is a different battle altogether. Legality is a different battle. Legally, there's nothing wrong. You can't track money that way. You don't know what money is coming and what money you're using where. You can't trace every rupee to where it comes from, right? Then you be spending all your time doing that. So if they're using this money and their economy is growing, fair enough. It's a portal that somebody is approving of, and it's happening in front of everybody. It's not some hawala thing that's happening on the side. So the way I see it is, you can't control it. If it's happening, and it's happening out in the open. So there's nothing you can say about it. It's legal as long as nobody has laid out a law against it. Morality, like I said, is a different discussion altogether.
Abhijit sir, we are also hearing that the Indian government is it's quite concerned with this development, that so much inflow, outflow is going, to Pakistan, and do you suggest something which should happen? I mean, it's a legal right. I mean, no one can legally challenge me if someone is betting, and so your thoughts, how to control this?
Absolutely, is concerned the law of the land. If they are not barring the online offshore sites, so then the matter is laid to rest. So we can't do anything. Its onus is on the government, because if, for example, if you recently barred so many Chinese apps, the UAE barred so many pornographic sites. So China barred Google and Facebook. So the same way, if you think that the money of course, emotionally, I would not like that our money should go to Pakistan, but it happens across everywhere, across any industries. It happens. If it is, the money is going through basically it is surrogate advertising, because Sky 247 is maybe showing themselves as a news channel, but like there are several brands who do some other business, but the front is something else. So in that way, if some England, where the betting is legalized, they have they come in different layers and enter the Indian market through different channels in a surrogate manner, you can't do anything. So naturally, that legality has to be looked upon by the government. But if you ask about, if you think that morally you are asking people that you should not, just because the money is going channelized through that company to Pakistan, you should not stop gambling. I don't think it is possible. It is, you have to either you have to bar it, either you have to legalize it.
Absolutely,
So
and
that you have to decide. Like you said just now, mentioned about fantasy. So fantasy, Honorable Supreme Court has already given a clean sheet. They have given it a skill. What you mentioned, that. So some sort of clarity has to be taken. Otherwise, this sort of under the wraps surrogate things will keep on happening. You can't stop it.
Yeah. Apte sir, I was looking at the Delhi High Court decision in 2019. Apte sir, if I can have you on the screen, it says, left the decision to the center to ban online betting. So the center is sitting on it. I mean, your thoughts. I mean, do you think online betting could be, and what Lodha committee suggested was the best, legalize betting. But do you think people will still bet out of turn, illegally? Do you think is there an end to it?
See, Indranil, people will certainly bet. I know it doesn't suit the moral concepts, etc. But this is something which has been happening since ancient times. It is not something that this attitude has come into the human beings very recently. So this definitely continues, and that is why perhaps in their wisdom, the Honorable Supreme Court Judge had decided that we should legalize this. At least the money will come into the mainstream. Now, as far as this judgment is concerned, yes, even the Supreme Court said, and even the Supreme Court, when Lodha committee reforms were approved to great extent, has stated the same thing, that it's up to the government, it's up to the parliament to legalize it. So we cannot order legalizing it. So everywhere it is up to government. And I think the catch-22 situation for the government is that on one hand, they see that they cannot stop it. They also see a lot of money coming into the mainstream, tax also being collected by them. But on the other hand, whether it will be a populist decision, whether people will say that you are taking an immoral decision by legalizing betting, this is where it is going to be stalled. And this is where it is. That's what I personally feel. Because otherwise, I wish that it stops, but I don't think that it will stop. And if you see the money involved into it, it is something which I and you cannot imagine.
Absolutely. Ashwin bhai, it's not only Pakistan, it's not a PSL only alone. If you look at the Lankan Premier League also, it's the same company which is looking after, you know, and when India went to Sri Lanka last year in 2021, they were the title, I think they were the title sponsor or something. So, so involvement is there. I mean, do you think, is it right that a betting site running, you know, and sort of going and giving title sponsorship to a particular board, do you think it's morally right to do? I mean, this kind of thing. I mean, is it done in a fair way? How do you look at it?
See, morally, it's a very individual decision. When Bet365 sponsors things in Australia, nobody raises a voice. When Betfair does things in England, nobody raises a voice. It's considered accepted, and everybody's happy with it. Not one person has said anything. So it's a moral thing. It's an individual thing. What is in your control and what is not in your control is what you should look at. If you need a title sponsor, you need an associate sponsor. You're getting these sponsors via these sites. Somebody is accepting the money and it's legally going ahead. Then there's nothing you can do. When it comes to morality, your morality is different from mine. Is different to Abhijit sir, different to everyone else.
True.
That's an individual issue. Like they said just now, like it was said that the government has to take a call on it. Yes. And yes, the government will be divided on populist decision versus revenue. But that is a call the government has to take, not you and me.
Absolutely. But we can, of course, discuss and these are and tell the viewers that these are the things which are happening. But Abhijit sir, I want to know from you, way back in before the right after IPL started, even the digital rights of IPL was given to Lalit Modi's son-in-law. And their parent company were running a betting site in somewhere in Europe and things like that. So that came to BCCI's they took note of it, and that particular deal was cancelled, and a lot of things happened in between. And before Modi was sort of pushed away from IPL completely. Tell me something. I mean, that time it happened like that. Do you think in India, do you see any betting company coming and doing business the way it's happening in Pakistan?
Just now I told you about it. That surrogate way of entering the market. You know, world is a global village. You know, today if now maybe the only 20 countries are playing cricket. Although maybe cricket is being played in 100 countries. Today a league is starting in USA. A league is about to start in South Africa. ICC has its rules and regulations, but I don't know how they control it. If there is so much, UAE there is another league is starting there. So if so much mushroom growth is happening, there has to be some control. Either you legalized it, like just now Ashin bhai mentioned about Bet365. If that Bet365 is announcing odds in England that look today who will win 1:4, or how will Ruturaj Gaikwad get out in England? Can you stop it?
Yeah.
If somebody is channelizing the money through Singapore or through Hong Kong or through any other channel and betting there and getting the money to his relatives in England, how can you stop it?
Yeah.
The money is getting going, but money is ultimately going there. You cannot stop this. So it is the same way as you mentioned, as everybody is mentioning about the revenue. If the revenue, if government is seeing, and for us also it's a revenue loss, and the money is going to Pakistan and not coming to us, that is onus of the government to come out with a regulator so that like the ban of liquor. Liquor is banned in Gujarat, liquor is banned in Bihar and several other states, but other states are reluctant to ban it because there is so much revenue coming from it.
True.
So, same way, the basic thing is that this money, if maybe it is going to some particular company and that particular company is related to a betting company, instead of that, it should come back to us. Maybe it should come back to BCCI, it should come back to the IPL team, it should come back to cricket, or it should come back ultimately to the government.
Actually,
That has to be controlled. Which is very vague now. Like just now, I would rate that issue. Just now, there was a regulation regarding crypto. There was a crypto company sponsoring an ICT tournament?
Yeah. True.
But it is banned in India.
Absolutely.
Crypto is not legalized in India.
Apte sir. No. Sorry. Abhijit sir, you complete your thought. Please.
This clarity has to be made. Otherwise, what I am worried about, the way these are expanding, a league in the USA, the league in South Africa, the money has to come from somewhere, and this event organizers has to go to the some people who has to back them,
Absolutely.
and
And
where they
everything,
get the money.
I mean, the honesty and integrity of the game. Apte sir, if I can bring you in, I mean, whatever you do. I mean, I've seen in England, while covering cricket matches, how the betting shops are there, located inside the stadium. But as long as the sanctity and the hygiene of the sport is not affected, and there is absolute out and out honesty, because there's so much money riding already. Players are paid well. We're seeing how IPL cricketers are paid so handsomely these days, and probably will get better with time, and it's getting better with every passing year. So looking at that bit, I think the honesty bit, these things should be sacrosanct, isn't it? What are your thoughts, Apti sir?
As I have told you, Indranil, betting is already happening. So if that is bad, or if it is going to affect the cricketers, or if there is going to be some sort of adjustment or fixing, that betting is already happening. The issue is whether you legalize, whether you take them into the mainstream. And if you know, even the Law Commission has already put a report in the Parliament about legalizing it. There are already private bills which are pending. So the government is moving in that direction, but as decision making is not based purely on the objective issues, but they have to look into a lot of other factors. That is, perhaps it is taking time. And of course, there should be a very stringent punishment when it comes to match fixing or any malpractices in cricket. But betting in many countries has already, and now even we were talking about Supreme Court and the current judgment. Way back in 1995, the race issue also went to the Supreme Court, whether horse racing is gambling or it's a game. They have decided that skill is used. It is not purely on the basis of luck. So that judgment is already there. Whatever you are saying, that is happening on race course also.
Yeah.
I think that is why a firm decision will have to be taken. Otherwise, there are many areas where we do not have law.
Yeah.
Now, supposing if somebody is to be punished, there is no specialized law. Even about match fixing, about betting, there is again a bill which is pending long back, about for 6 years it is pending. 5 years it is pending after the controversy which erupted out of IPL in 2013-14. So I personally feel that with every year, every passing year, this is going to continue. This is happening. And just because I and you feel that it is immoral and it should not be done, they have been also, the administrators are also saying that it is impossible to stop it.
Yeah.
They can take some short-term action, some interim measures, but it is still continuing. And now, so there are official companies, even we have one sponsor, one of them. So that more rational view needs to be taken.
No, and what is the way forward and to keep it clean? I mean, I want to ask Ashwin Bhai. We have a system in place, of course. BCCI, when IPL started, I keep coming back to IPL all the time, because that's become, because last couple of years we have played IPL in so many months. We had a little break last year. First half was played in summer months, then it went to autumn months. So I keep bringing IPL all the time. When you talk about IPL, they wanted to sort of keep it clean, and that's why IPL got its own anti-corruption unit, and everything is in place. But every year that filter has to be changed, the filtering has to be done. It's a continuous process to keep the game away from all negative energy, which is very important. Ashwin Bhai, what do you say? I mean, the authorities are doing an excellent job in that way, because we have had so many episodes of fixing, spot fixing, match fixing, but cricket is such a tall sport, it's such a robust sport. No one could actually shake the foundation of the game. People still love this game, isn't it?
See, of course, they love the game, but IPL and BCCI have taken they've taken it very seriously.
Yeah.
I've been part of it all through the IPL. I've been part of the time when this was caught. I've been part of the time after that. In fact, I've been part of it during it also. So the point is, they've taken a very, very strict measures, and they have come down very heavily on this, and they've controlled it to a great extent. In fact, I would say they've controlled it to the extent it can be controlled.
True.
So, and the ACSU comes down and very heavily on anything. There is sanctity maintained in the PMOA, the player match official area. The sanctity maintained in the hotel, team hotel. Player movement is curtailed. Of course, there will be anomalies here, there, everywhere. But the thing is, whatever can be done is being done by BCCI. In fact, I'll say they've taken 2 steps ahead. So whatever can be controlled is controlled. But betting, I don't know, this is a general statement. Betting is like the forbidden fruit. If you say no to something, that's the first thing that comes to your head.
Yeah.
So that's why countries like Australia, South Africa, I don't know about South Africa, Australia and England, and maybe New Zealand, betting is legalized, so they do it. Morally, as Indians, we don't approve of it, and I completely agree with that. But then when it comes to this situation, there's revenue and a balance has to be achieved.
Yeah.
You have to take the middle path and make sure that it doesn't corrupt the younger lot, because to be very honest, if you're betting on every game, it can change your very mindset as a youngster, and everybody has access to it. So if you're relying on betting money to make a living, then that's going to change the entire crux of society.
Actually.
So you really need to be very careful about how you address it and how you control it.
Absolutely. You're talking about Australia, I mean, where betting is legalized. We lost a great, Abhijit sir, if I can have you on the screen, a great player. I mean, he's someone who played one of the finest knocks in ODI cricket. I remember against Pakistan, the same Pakistan we are discussing today. This match was in 2003 against Pakistan, a league phase match. Pakistan were 86 for 4, and that, vaguely I can remember. And this gentleman, Andrew Simons, he came and played a knock, which I still feel so sentimental about. 143 scored. He was unbeaten in that game. I mean, someone who wants to see and learn how to structure a ODI cricket knock at a time of, on the face of adversity. Andrew Simons' knock should be watched on YouTube or wherever you get that. Abhijit sir, your memories of Andrew Simons. What a player. We've lost a legend, and a legend gone too soon.
Look, I have met him only twice, naturally during the IPL only. And if you ask me, I know he is called the king of sledging in whatever way he sledged and his own style or whatever happened with Harbhajan or what, that's a different issue. But he was a very soft person from inside, always joking, having fun. Whenever earlier there used to be, you know that there used to be IPL parties. So in the IPL parties, he was always fun and of course disciplined as well. He used to never go berserk like generally nowadays players go. He used to be very much disciplined and always ever encouraging to the what I found here at that point of time, ever encouraging to the youngsters, not only of the team which he was representing, the team of the opposing side. If anybody wanted to have some guidance, if one of my players asked, or my known players asked that, Andrew, that can you introduce me? I just introduced him. He's a player. He is a youngster. I left him, and after half an hour or 40 minutes, I went back. He was still interacting with him.
Wow.
Such a great legend.
I know. He's actually a legend. Ashwin bhai, your memories of Andrew Simons?
I have to thank my dear friend Nikhil Chopra for helping me meet Andrew Simons. Nikhil called me over for dinner one day. There was Harbhajan, Nikhil, me, Andrew, and a couple of other people. And I spent about 5-6 hours with Andrew Simons. He was a lovely guy. Nothing like the image media has built about him. He was a lovely guy. We had a fabulous evening, and unfortunately, that's my only interaction with him.
Not really. I mean,
when I left with very great, good vibes about him, because he came out. He was very open, forthcoming. He had no airs about him, and he lived life to the fullest. I think he's one of those guys like Shane Warne who's lived.
Person who will change the complexion of game within no time. And for Australians, it is very sad that one after other they have lost.
I know, sir.
Great, yeah.
Rod Marsh, Shane Warne, and now Andrew Simons. And what a sad day for world cricket. But world cricket should survive. And as I started the show, thanks, gentlemen. Abhijit sir, Apte sir, Ashwin bhai, and as we started the show, the world cricket lives off India's money, and I hope it continues, because Indians are the ones who kept this game alive. Gentlemen's game, we call it. We love our IPL, we love our Indian cricket, and fans make this game so big.